Chapter 5 The End of It. Yes. He recognized the bedpost as his own. The bed and the room belonged to him. The most wonderful and joyful thing was that he had time ahead of him to fix things. "I'll live in the past, present, and future," exclaimed Scrooge as he got out of bed. "The spirits of all three will be present in me. Thank heaven and Christmas time for this, Jacob Marley. I am saying it while kneeling down, old Jacob, on my knees." He was very nervous and enthusiastic about his good intentions, and his weak voice could barely respond when he tried to speak. He had been crying heavily while struggling with his emotions, and his face was wet with tears. "They're not destroyed," said Scrooge, holding one of his bed curtains. "They're not destroyed, even the rings are still here. They're with me, and the ghosts of what could have been can be changed. They will be changed. I know they will." Throughout this time, he kept his hands busy with his clothes. He turned them inside out, put them on the wrong way round, tore them, lost them, and engaged in all sorts of extravagances with them. "I don't know what to do," said Scrooge, laughing and crying at the same time. He was flailing his arms and legs around like the statue of Laocoon, and his stockings were flying everywhere. "I feel so light and happy, like a feather or an angel. I'm as joyful as a young student and as dizzy as a drunk person. I wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Hello there. Yippee! Hello." He had rushed into the living room, and now he was standing there, breathing heavily. Scrooge exclaimed, "Look! That's the pot where the porridge was cooked." He got up and walked around the fireplace, pointing out different things. "That's the door that Jacob Marley's ghost used to enter. That's the spot where the ghost of Christmas present Saturday. And that's the window where I saw the wandering spirits. Everything I'm saying is true, it all happened." Scrooge chuckled to himself. Wow, even though he hadn't laughed in a long time, it was a great laugh. It was the kind of laugh that his family is known for, with many generations before him also having wonderful laughs. "I don't know what day it is," said Scrooge. "I don't know how long I've been with the spirits. I don't know anything. I feel like a child. But that's okay. I don't mind. Actually, I prefer it that way. Hey! Yippee! Hey, over here!" The loud ringing of the church bells stopped him in his tracks. He had never heard such joyful and energetic peals before. They went clash, clash, hammer, ding, dong, bell. Bell, dong, ding, a hammer, clang, clash. It was a wonderful sound. He ran to the window and opened it. He put his head out and saw that there was no fog or mist. It was clear, bright, cheerful, and cold outside. The cold made him feel energized, as if his blood was dancing. The sunlight was golden, the sky was heavenly, the air was fresh and sweet, and he could hear the sound of merry bells. He felt that everything was wonderful and amazing. "Hey, what day is it today?" shouted Scrooge, calling down to a boy dressed in Sunday clothes who may have been lingering around to explore. "What?" replied the boy with a lot of amazement. Scrooge said, "What day is it today, my good man?" "When?" asked the boy. "Today," answered the boy. "It's Christmas Day." Scrooge said to himself, "It's Christmas Day. I didn't miss it." The spirits did everything in one night. They can do anything they want. They are able to do it. "Hello, my friend." "Hello," returned the boy. Scrooge asked, "Do you know the person who sells poultry in the street that's next to the one after the next, at the corner?" "I should hope I did," replied the lad. Scrooge said, "What an intelligent boy! He's remarkable. Do you know if they sold the big prize turkey that was hanging up there? Not the small one, but the big one?" "What?" "The one that's as big as me," said the boy in response. Scrooge said, "The boy is delightful. Talking to him is enjoyable." "Yes, my friend." The boy said, "It's hanging there now." "Is it?" said Scrooge. "Go and buy it." "Walkie-ah!" exclaimed the boy. "No, no," said Scrooge, "I really mean it. Go and purchase it, and let them know to bring it here, so I can tell them where to take it. Return with the man and I'll give you a shilling. If you come back with him in less than 5 minutes, I'll give you half a crown." The boy ran very quickly. He must have been good at shooting to be able to shoot so quickly. "I'll send it to Bob Cratchit's," Scrooge said quietly while rubbing his hands and laughing. "He won't know it's from me. It's twice as big as Tiny Tim's. Sending it to Bob's is going to be a funny joke, even better than what Joe Miller could come up with." He wrote the address with a shaky hand, but he managed to write it anyway. Afterwards, he went downstairs to open the front door in preparation for the arrival of the poulterer's delivery person. While waiting, he noticed the door knocker. "I will always love it," said Scrooge, while he gently touched it. "I hardly ever paid attention to it before. It has such an honest look on its face. It's an amazing door knocker. Oh, here comes the turkey. Hi. How are you? Merry Christmas." It was a turkey. That bird couldn't stand on its legs. It would have broken them quickly, like sticks of sealing wax. He laughed when he said it, and he also laughed when he paid for the turkey, the taxi, and gave money to the boy. He laughed even harder when he sat down in his chair, and laughed so much that he cried. It was difficult for him to shave because his hand shook a lot. Shaving needs concentration, even if you don't move around. But if he accidentally cut off the end of his nose, he would have put a band-aid on it and felt okay about it. He put on his best clothes and finally went outside onto the streets. The people were now coming out, just like he had seen them with the Ghost of Christmas Present. Scrooge walked with his hands behind his back and looked at everyone with a happy smile. He looked so friendly that 3 or 4 cheerful men said, "Good morning, sir. Merry Christmas to you." Scrooge later said that of all the happy sounds he had ever heard, those were the happiest in his ears. He hadn't gone very far when he saw the big man who had visited his office the day before and asked, "Is this Scrooge and Marley's?" It made him feel sad to think about how the old man would see him when they met, but he knew which way to go and walked that way. Scrooge said, "Hello, sir. and walked faster. He took the old man's hands and asked, "How are you? I hope you did well yesterday. It was very nice of you. Have a happy Christmas, sir." "Mr. Scrooge?" "Oh God, please bless me," exclaimed the man, sounding surprised and out of breath. "Mr. Scrooge, my dear sir, are you really telling the truth?" Scrooge said, "Please do not reduce the amount by even a small coin. The amount includes many payments that were missed earlier, and I can assure you of that. Can you please do me this kindness?" "I don't know what to say," said the other man, shaking hands with him. "Thank you so much." "Please don't say anything," Scrooge replied. "Come and visit me." "Will you come and see me?" "I will," exclaimed the elderly man. It was evident that he intended to follow through with his promise. "Thank you," said Scrooge. "I'm very grateful to you. I thank you 50 times. Bless you." He went to church and walked on the streets. He watched people hurrying back and forth and gently patted children on the head. He also talked to beggars and looked inside the kitchens of houses and up at the windows. He was pleased with everything he saw. He never thought that a walk could bring him so much happiness. In the afternoon, he headed towards his nephew's house. He walked back and forth in front of the door 12 times before he felt brave enough to approach it and knock. However, he gathered his courage and went for it. Scrooge asked the girl, "Is your boss at home, my dear?" The girl was very nice. "Yes, sir." "Where is he, my love?" said Scrooge. "He's in the dining room with the mistress, sir. I can take you upstairs if you'd like." "Thank you." "He recognizes me," said Scrooge, as he put his hand on the lock of the dining room door. "I will enter here, my dear." He gently rotated the doorknob and put his face through the door. They were watching the table, which was set with many things. Young people who take care of a house are always worried about such things and want to make sure everything is correct. "Fred," said Scrooge. Dear me, his niece by marriage really surprised him. Scrooge had momentarily forgotten that she was sitting in the corner with a footstool, otherwise he wouldn't have done what he did under any circumstances. "Wow, who is that?" exclaimed Fred. "Hi, it's me, Uncle Scrooge. I came over for dinner. Can you please open the door, Fred? Allow him to come in. It's a good thing he didn't hurt his arm." He arrived home within 5 minutes. Everything was very friendly. His niece appeared unchanged. The same went for Topper, the chubby sister, and everyone else who arrived. It was an amazing party with great games. Everyone was happy and having a good time. He arrived at the office very early the next morning. He really was very early. He really wanted to be the first one there and see Bob Cratchit arrive late. This was what he really wanted. He succeeded, yes he did. The clock rang at 9 o'clock, but Bob was not there. It was already 15 minutes past 9, and Bob was still nowhere to be seen. He was running 18.5 minutes late. Scrooge was sitting by his open door, waiting to see Bob arrive. Before he opened the door, he took off his hat and his jacket. He quickly sat down on his stool and started writing as if he was in a hurry to catch up with the time. "Hello," said Scrooge in his usual voice, trying to sound as grumpy as possible. "Why are you coming here at this time of day?" Scrooge repeated, "You are," and said, "Yes. I think you are. Please come this way, sir." "Sir, it only happens once a year," said Bob as he came out of the tank. "I won't do it again. I had too much fun yesterday, sir." "I'll tell you what, my friend," said Scrooge. "I can't tolerate this behavior anymore." Then he got up from his seat and poked Bob in the stomach, causing him to stumble back into the tank. "So, I'm going to increase your salary." Bob shook and moved closer to the ruler. He briefly thought about using it to hit Scrooge, restraining him, and shouting for help and a straitjacket from the people in the court. Scrooge said, "Merry Christmas, Bob." He patted Bob on the back and meant it. "I want to give you an even happier Christmas than you've had in a long time, my good friend Bob. I will increase your salary and help your family, who are struggling. Let's talk about your concerns this afternoon while we enjoy a Christmas drink. Bob, please add more coal to the fire before you do anything else." Scrooge was even better than what he had promised. He did everything he said he would do and much more. He became a second father to Tiny Tim, who fortunately did not die. He became a good friend, a good boss, and a good man, just like the people of the good old city knew. Some people laughed when they saw how much he had changed, but Scrooge did not care about them. He was smart enough to know that no matter how good something was, some people would always find a reason to laugh at it. He thought it was better for those people to laugh than to have something worse happen to them. Scrooge was happy and satisfied with his own changes, and that was all that mattered to him. He didn't talk to any more ghosts, but he chose to not drink alcohol from that point on. People always said he was really good at celebrating Christmas, better than anyone else. Let's hope people say the same about us too. Like Tiny Tim said, may God bless all of us.